Okay, so let's discuss we're talking about routers, right? And navigation in iOS mobile development. So basically, a router is just a way to compartmentalize functionality. I'm not functionality, navigation in an iOS app, right? So, in a nutshell, you might have links to a different view or a button that takes you from one view to the other, right? Right. And basically, your navigation is kind of like scattered throughout your app, right? But a router is kind of like a component that has all of your navigation functionality. That's it. One location where your navigation functionality is, right? And you take this, or maybe a few places, right? Maybe you have different routers, but these are the things that have your navigation functionality. So I'm going to give you an example. This right here is a router. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Okay, so you probably already know how to do a navigation view. This is an example of let's go to this. This is our router. Okay. This is an example of a router. It's a very simple router. And this will be used for this has an observable object and has an enumeration that represents all of the destinations that we want to go to, right? Case one, view one, view two, view three, view one. Okay. These are the views right here. See this? View one, view two, view three, and here's our content view. Okay. And then, you go to your content view, and of course, we're going to do in this situation, we're going to have an H stack with buttons, and with each button, you're going to reference a particular view. We have a switch statement that is going to show the view. Right? And so let's go ahead and run this. So right here, we have our content view right here. Okay. And this is view one. This is view one, our default view. Okay. Now I can go ahead and pick another view. View two. View three. I'm going to upload this to GitHub where you can download it and check this out for yourself. Let's go back to content view. Basically, right here, it creates this view. Of course, it doesn't go to it. SwiftUI generates the views. Okay. So you have this horizontal stack. Has a link to all of them. Then it generates the views down here. Right. So now, this is one example of a router. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you another example of a router. Okay, so here is another example, right? And in a nutshell, this is another app, right, that I'm working on. And, when you get your login screen, your register screen, You set up an image and all of this. And then once you're logged in, then you go to your other parts of the app, right? So let's go ahead and register. And I'm just gonna create this right, password, and create a non-alphanumeric character, and then ignore, scroll, select an image. Come on, now I have an image. Now I'm going to register, and I'm logged in. Okay. Now, all of the navigation that I just did goes from there to a router, and I escape the prior navigation view and go to a tab bar view. Okay, so now let's discuss how I encapsulated all this functionality with a router. So this is the router. This right here is the router. Okay. And of course, you see I have a binding var where I pass a registered value to it. And depending on whether you're registered, you have your setup view or your content view. What is your setup view? Your setup view is just your tab bar view. Okay. All right. And your content view is just your thing with your segmented control. Okay. Right. And of course, this decides whether you can do log in view and register view. Okay. Which is this right here. Right. Right. This is right. And of course, you can pick spine or profile setup. Okay, so now what you're going to do is let's go over here to our app and make sure that we go in here and get this. We have to understand that one important part of a router is upon launch of the app, you have to set it up. All right, this is just for debugging purposes where I put setup here, but that's commented out. Root router, and you send whether it's registered or not. Okay. Again, jump to definition. If I'm registered, I'm going to do a setup view. Otherwise, content view. Okay. And yeah, that's pretty much it, right? So let's see where else our router is. I think our router is only in a few places because we're only deciding whether we're registered or not. Okay, so let's see. Root router. Yeah, registration view. So here we go. So when we go into our registration, right? This is where we're gonna have our username. So let me go ahead and reload this again. Okay. This is our login view. This is our registration view. Okay. And this is the registration view right here. Sorry about that. Okay, and then of course you have your username, password, right? You have your first name, last name, right? This is the thing for your profile image. Functionality for the profile image. Tap gesture, register. Now, this is this register button right here. On the register button, I'm going to access the register functionality in the view model, which I just have the bare bones of it, right? This is the register functionality that checks, validates everything, right? Right? This is all the view model stuff. Okay. Then we go to the root router. Sorry about that. Right? Root router dot registered. So again, I go here, and if it's registered, just call the router, and the router does the rest. Setup view, content view. So remember, we're not linking to anything. We're creating an instance of it, right? That's what we're doing. We're creating the instance and not staying in the instance of the other one. Okay. So yeah. You know, and you can go and you can download the other project. You can't download this project because this is something I'm working on for something else. But this is just an example of how a router might work. If you want me to make more specific videos with a router, just message me in the message me or leave a comment about something you don't understand, and I'll try to explain it. Okay, on to the next.